It was a bright Saturday morning when I decided to visit the community garden near my neighborhood. I had heard about it many times, but I had never taken the opportunity to see it myself. The air smelled fresh, and a soft breeze carried the fragrance of flowers from afar. As I walked closer, I could already hear the gentle sound of laughter, the buzzing of bees, and the distant hum of people working together. The gate to the community garden was open, welcoming anyone who wished to enter. The moment I stepped inside, I felt an immediate sense of peace. Rows of vegetables, herbs, and flowers surrounded me. Every patch of soil seemed alive with color and care. There were tomatoes growing on vines, sunflowers reaching toward the sky, and even small fruit trees standing proudly in the sunlight. A friendly woman wearing a wide straw hat approached me. "Good morning. First time here?" she asked with a warm smile. I nodded, introducing myself. Her name was Mrs. Rivera, one of the volunteers who helped manage the garden. She handed me a pair of gloves and said, "We always have room for another pair of hands." I followed her down a narrow path lined with marigolds. She explained that the community garden was a shared space where people from the neighborhood could grow food, learn about sustainability, and connect with one another. "We are not just growing plants," she said. "We are growing friendships and hope." I was assigned to the herb section, where basil, rosemary, mint, and parsley grew in perfect rows. As I knelt down to pull out some weeds, I felt the earth beneath my hands, soft, cool, and full of life. There was something deeply calming about being surrounded by nature. The simple act of working with soil made me feel grounded and connected. Nearby, children were painting signs for the new plants. One sign read, "Please do not step on the lettuce," while another said, "Pollinators welcome here." Their laughter filled the air as they proudly placed their colorful signs next to each garden bed. It was beautiful to see how everyone, from young kids to elderly volunteers, had a role to play. During the mid-morning break, we all gathered under a large tree where a wooden table was set up. Someone had brought fresh lemonade and homemade muffins. We shared stories about our favorite plants, past harvests, and even cooking recipes using the vegetables from the garden. I listened to a man named Peter talk about how he had joined the garden after losing his job. "It gave me purpose again," he said. "I came here just to pass the time, but I ended up finding a new community." When we returned to work, I helped a group of volunteers build a small compost bin. Mrs. Rivera explained how composting helps recycle kitchen waste and enrich the soil. It amazed me how much I learned in just one morning, not only about gardening, but also about patience, teamwork, and care for the environment. As the afternoon sun began to set, the garden glowed in shades of orange and gold. I stood quietly, watching as people packed up their tools. Despite the tiredness in my arms, I felt a deep sense of satisfaction. I had helped water the plants, clear the weeds, and even plant a few new seedlings. But more importantly, I had become part of something bigger, a living, breathing community. Before leaving, Mrs. Rivera handed me a small pot with a sprouting basil plant. "Take this home," she said. "It will remind you that everything good takes time to grow." I smiled, promising to return next week. As I walked back home, I thought about how a simple garden could bring so many people together. It was not just a place to grow food, it was a place to grow kindness, cooperation, and understanding. In the community garden, differences disappeared. People of all ages, cultures, and backgrounds worked side by side with one shared goal: to nurture life. That evening, I placed my little basil plant on the windowsill, where it caught the last rays of sunlight. The scent of the leaves filled my room, bringing back the sounds and smiles from the garden. I realized that sometimes the most powerful lessons do not come from books or classrooms, but from simple acts of connection, like planting a seed, sharing a laugh, or helping a neighbor. My day at the community garden taught me that growth is not only about plants, it is about people. And just like a garden, communities flourish when they are cared for with love, patience, and attention. As I watered the basil before going to bed, I whispered to myself, "Tomorrow I will grow too."